Hi guys, it's Nancy here and welcome back to my channel and my new video. Today we're gonna talk about motivation, happiness, positivity and all that jazz. So if you want to know more about it, then keep on watching. If you think about it, motivation and happiness really go together because are you even motivated when you're sad? Like, that's not possible. Maybe you're gonna finish up tasks from your to-do list or even finish up the whole to-do list, but it is gonna be a pain in the... So yeah, it doesn't have to be that hard. When you're happier or happy, it is going to be easier for you to feel motivated. Like, procrastination is something totally different, like it's a whole other topic, and I'm not going to talk about procrastination here, but motivation in general. So yeah, here are my tips on how to be positive and motivated and pretty much how to get your life together, I guess. My first tip for today is take control over things you can change and stop worrying about the things you can't change. Not everything is within your control and you have to accept it ASAP if you want to feel happy. When planning or setting your goals, please think about that fact, and my idea is maybe to make a list of things you can and cannot control. I love making lists, so this is a good one, I promise you. It helps a lot. I'm pretty much a control freak. I love taking control of everything and having control, and I don't like when I lose control over something, and especially losing control over my life and my motivation and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to accept that and just let things go and let somebody else even take control over things. I know that could be hard, but it will help a lot with your overall happiness. And sometimes if you cannot succeed in something, it's not always on you. It's like sometimes you just don't have control over situations. So if you accept that, it's going to be easier to accept the failure, I'd say. Which leads me to my next tip for today, and that is learn from your mistakes and try not to repeat them. So of course, sometimes it's your fault if you not reach your goal, sometimes it's really not because you can't control it. But either way, you have to learn how to deal with it, and especially how to deal with it when it's not in your control. And don't feel devastated. Like, okay, maybe you can feel devastated for one day, that's fine. Eat some ice cream, cry over it, but then wake up next day and get your life together. Failure is just a sign that that thing that you tried is not working, and then you have to try something else. Really, if you think about it, if you fail, that really brings you one step closer to your goal, because you know what you cannot include in reaching your goals and what else you can try and maybe succeed. And it's also a really good way to learn things. My third tip for today is to know what inspires you and what makes you happy. And yes, on top of that, knowing what doesn't make you happy or what even makes you sad, it's also really important. So yeah, is it spending time in nature or spending time with your friends or traveling or whatever it is, but it's important to find the thing that makes you happy and to know, like, if you feel sad on some days or unmotivated, you should know, like, you should have this list on you and know what things will inspire you, and you should try to do those things, and that will make you feel a lot better. So on the other hand, I mentioned knowing about things that make you sad. If something stresses you out, try to avoid that thing if you can. Obviously, that's also a thing of control. Some things you can't avoid, even if it's like, if you hate them, if it stresses you out, but sometimes you just have to deal with it and do it. But sometimes you really can avoid things that stresses you out. Like, is your job really stressing you out and you hate your job? Like, maybe try finding a new one. Or if it's a relationship, like, doesn't matter what kind of a relationship. If some person stresses you out, then try to avoid them. I know it sounds harsh, like avoid someone and be like ignore them, but try to like don't be obvious about it, but you really have to do it if you want to be happy. My fourth tip for today is take some time to celebrate. Doesn't matter if it's a small win or a big win, always try to find time to celebrate it. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. You don't have to buy a Gucci bag, although I would like to buy a Gucci bag. But try do some small things for yourself and you are going to feel happy. And for every small step which will lead you to accomplishing a big goal, try to avoid yourself because it will boost your motivation. Like for example, if you finish your whole big to-do list on that day, drink a glass of wine in the evening. Or if you pass an important exam, go out for dinner or go see a movie. You are worth it and you deserve it. Now I want to go ahead and go back to my first tip for today and talk some more about taking control and letting things go. Well, there are a lot of things you can have control over, like the weather, for example, which is terrible right now. It's raining and it should be warm actually because it's spring, but it's fine. There are a lot of things we can take control over, and we don't really think about those things, but we should start thinking about them. So first thing is to choose who you spend your time with, choose your friends wisely, choose people that surround you wisely. They shouldn't bring you down. You should be surrounded by positive people if you want to feel positive, because negativity is a real thing. Second thing is you should take control over your consumption. You should really be aware of things you consume, and I'm not just talking about the food here, which is really important, but consumption in general. And one of the most important things is social media, really. Unfollow those people who make you feel negative or like not enough or not good about yourself. You choose what you consume and news you are watching. Like, don't watch negative news. Like, be informed of what is happening in the world, but don't like read news first thing in the morning if you know they're gonna be negative. It will set the tone for your whole day. The next thing is choose your words and thoughts wisely. It has a lot to do with a law of attraction, which I think you all know a lot about. So yeah, follow that rules. And the last thing I want to mention is you have so much control over things you say yes or no to. This is so important. I know it's hard, but it's important. Don't say yes to the things you don't want to do. If it's not a hell yes, then it's no. And also, don't say no to the things you actually want to do. That's also a thing. Like, if it's out of your comfort zone, I understand it's hard to say yes to that thing, but don't say no. Try to say yes and force yourself to do it if you know that you're gonna feel good about yourself after that, which will also make you feel happy, which will also make you feel motivated to do more things like that. So yeah, it's all just a game, really. And at the end, like, if you want to feel happy and motivated, I know it sounds cheesy, but really you have to choose to be happy and motivated. That's the most important thing actually, and my biggest tip for today. If you don't take anything out of this video, then just listen to me and choose to be happy at least. And it will lead you to happiness. So yeah guys, this was it for this video. I hope it was helpful and that you could learn something, maybe apply some of my tips and let me know how it goes. So yeah, if you're not, please consider subscribing and hit that bell button to get notified when I post a new video, and maybe hit that like button as well. I know it's a lot, but it means a lot to me as well. So thank you so much for watching. I love you to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!